7 years ago, Senator Bernie Sanders posted an article on his website that said Venezuela was living the American dream better than America. Yesterday, the military forces of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro used armored vehicles to run over civilians. Do not forget. Here's the article on Bernie Sanders' website, where it is still posted today. These days, it says, the American dream is more apt to be realized in South America and places like Ecuador, Venezuela, and Argentina, where incomes are actually more equal today than they are in the land of Horatio Alger, who's the banana republic now. So where is Bernie Sanders now? Maduro is running over civilians with armored vehicles. Where are the Democrats condemning that? Bernie Sanders? Silent. AOC? Silent. That should scare us. Why won't Bernie Sanders condemn the violent dictator Maduro? Look at Bernie Sanders' Twitter page today. Nothing. Instead, Bernie is tweeting about gun control. But you know what? In 2012, Maduro and his socialist thugs banned private gun ownership in Venezuela. They took away people's guns. They disarmed the citizenry. And look at what happened. Do you think if the Venezuelan people were armed and able to defend themselves, that Maduro's thugs would have run over them with armored vehicles? I doubt it. Do you think if the Venezuelan people were armed, Maduro's thugs would execute people in the streets for criticizing the government? Do you think if the Venezuelan people were armed, Maduro's thugs would throw dissenters in jail and torture them? I think not. But what do we hear from Bernie Sanders? Nothing. First, he praised the Venezuelan regime and their socialism. Now, when they starve their population, when babies are dying in hospitals, when Maduro's forces are brutally beating and sexually abusing political prisoners, Bernie Sanders is silent. Instead, Bernie's tweeting about his Medicare for All government-run socialist healthcare system. Meanwhile, in socialist Venezuela, in their healthcare system, a little girl nearly died from a knee scrape because she couldn't get antibiotics. The only reason she ultimately got the medicine that saved her life months later was because the little boy in the hospital room next door to hers died, and his mother gave her his leftover medicine. But what do we hear from Bernie Sanders? Nothing. He's still a socialist. He still wants to bring that socialism here to the United States. He still refuses to answer any questions about what makes his socialism different than Maduro's. Because it's not different. Why wouldn't the American people suffer like the Venezuelan people if we became socialist too? We would. This is the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats stay silent as the Venezuelan people are oppressed and killed at the hands of a socialist regime. Democrats call the uprising in Venezuela a coup. It's not a coup. Juan Guaido is the legitimate interim president of Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro is an illegitimate dictator. Republicans know the people of Venezuela have a right to take their freedom back. And we, the American people, can never let government bureaucrats like Bernie Sanders take away our liberty because, make no mistake, we will end up just like Venezuela if we fall for the same dangerous socialist trope.